Hello and welcome to the Easter egg guide for Firebase Z. This Easter egg is quite easy, so I'm sure you won't have any trouble following this guide. The first step is to turn power on. You can do this by activating the 3 generators and getting kills in those generator areas. Once you've done this, go to mission control and speak to Peck. You will now need to teleport back to the village and speak to Ravenov. He will give you his ID card. You can use this ID card to then open electronically sealed lockers around the map. The first locker is in the village area, through the first door that you open just to the right. The second locker is in engineering. As you enter engineering, it's just to the left. And the third locker is in the colonel's office. Once you've opened these lockers and collected the serum, you can take this serum to the medical lab and insert it into the machine. Once the machine is active and spinning the vials, one of the vials will break and will spawn hellhounds. You don't have to do anything special here, just survive the hellhound attack. Once the machine has completed, go back over to it and activate it to transfer the solution into the aerosol dispersal machine. Collect the machine and go over to the air conditioner. Put the aerosol dispersal machine onto the air conditioner, then go back down and speak to Peck. The truth serum will now be filling Peck's room, and he will now start hallucinating. When the prompt to speak to Peck comes up, make sure to hit the use button. Peck will now tell you that you need the memories of 3 people that have died in Firebase Z to get 2 activation codes and the location of Samantha Maxis in the Dark Ether. To do this, go over to Data Center, activate the memory machine, and acquire an essence collector. Now for this step, you will need to find equipment drops around the map. There are 4 locations that I know of: Motor Pool, Colonel's Office, Village, and Medical Lab. Once per round, you will need to weaken a mimic and take them to one of these locations. Throw down the essence collector and grab yourself a mimic in one of these locations. Once you've captured the mimic, take it back to the memory machine and insert it into the machine. You need to do this 3 times, so once per round for 3 rounds. The location that you need to capture the mimic in is identified by these equipment pools. There will be equipment lying around that you cannot pick up and doesn't spawn into a mimic. Just weaken a mimic, collect it from one of these locations, and then take it back to the memory machine. Once you've got all 3 memories, the machine will spit out a floppy disk. Pick up this floppy disk for the next step. Now that you have the floppy disk, you'll have to go over to the mainframe and insert the disk. Once you've done this, go back over to Peck and speak to him. You will now need to collect ether crystals that are contained in canisters. Ravenov will tell you that there's an ether meter located next to Peck. There is another electronically sealed locker. Go over to it and open it up. The ether meter will drop just in front of it. For this step, you will need a shovel. The shovel can be found in Scotch Defense in the left-hand side bunker. There are 3 dig sites around the map. One just outside of Medlab, one in Jungle Defense, and one in Open Lot. The 3 dig sites have 3 different trials that you need to complete. The Medlab trial requires you to have a Reiki and to shoot the grenade launcher attachment at the canister to slow it down so you can go pick it up. You can acquire a Reiki by hitting the box, completing trials up until the legendary award, doing the coffin side Easter egg, or by building it. To build the Reiki, you will need to get the weapon blueprint from the weapon testing area. You will now be able to activate the cutscene in Scotch Defense, where you grab Dimitri's eye. Once you have the eye, you can go back to the weapon testing area and scan the eye. This will open up the drawer just below the computer and give you a key. It will also allow you to activate the computer. Now for this step, the circle on the computer is actually a dartboard. When you activate the computer, it will show you 3 segments of the dartboard. You have to shoot the dartboard that's in Village in the correct order that the computer shows you. Once you've shot all 3 segments, you can then shoot the bullseye, and then a part will spawn from the dartboard. The key that it gives you is used in barracks. Go over to that area and open the lockers. A mimic will spawn and you have to kill it. It will drop the barrel part. To get the third and final part, you will need to have a mangler spawn. These start spawning on round 15 and above. Once a mangler does spawn, you will need to shoot the cannon off its arm. Once the cannon has been destroyed, the magazine will drop. Collect the magazine, go back to the weapon testing area, and insert it into the charging station. You will now need to wait 2 rounds for it to charge. Once it has, go back and collect it, and build the rapier where you got the blueprint from. The second trial that's located in open lot will spawn mimics disguised as canisters. The real canister can be located quite easily. When you dig up the canister, you will see what it actually should look like. When it disappears, all the mimic canisters will spawn, and you will notice that all of the crystals now have a black mist around them. You will need to find the canister that has the white mist. Once you find it, just go over and collect it. The third trial, located in jungle defense, is quite an easy one. It's just a defend the area trial. In my gameplay, I did kill all of the zombies that were attacking me, but I've heard that you can just train and you don't actually have to kill anyone in this circle. Just stay alive, and then once the trial is complete, collect the canister. Once you have the canisters, you can go over to the generators and insert the crystals into the generators. Now go over to the OPC and observe the Dark Ether portal. By inserting the crystals, you will overload the portal and it will shut down. Weaver will now tell you that he's going to fire a laser at the site with an energy beam. Your mission is now to realign the satellite so that he can shoot the energy beam into Firebase Z and power the portal back up. Go over to planning officers and interact with the computer. Your mission here is to try and get this blue dot on the screen to the flashing star. You can do this by moving the blue dot with your D-pad. On PC, unfortunately, I don't know the control scheme. Once you've got the blue dot to the flashing star, press the button X in my case to align the satellite. The final step is to go back up to the OPC and activate the portal. But by doing this, you will activate the final boss fight, so make sure you're ready before you activate the portal again. Once you've activated the portal, a cutscene will play out and will take you back to the village. Within the village, you do have the Pack-a-Punch machine still available, the Wonder Fizz machine still available, and an armory station. So if you did not get geared up before you went into the boss fight, you can still use the Pack-a-Punch, Wonder Fizz, and armory. The boss fight is quite simple. All you have to do is kill the Order. You do the most damage to the Order once it's firing from its face hole. When it starts glowing orange, just pile a load of bullets into it and you'll do a lot of damage. If you've got a Ring of Fire, pop that down as well to do increased damage. You can also use any score streaks they have available. There is a buildable station in the village as well, so if you don't have any score streaks, you can just pop over to that and build yourself a chopper gunner or anything that you really want. These still work on the Order. Once you've beaten the boss fight, a cutscene will play out and you will get a title that's for the Dark Ops challenges. That wraps up the complete guide for the Firebase Z Easter egg. I will be doing a full intel guide straight after this, so make sure you subscribe to have that appear in your subscription box. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.